काम कर रहा है अभी? अच्छा। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम नमस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दाय तपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वलितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोः पदम् मंत्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोः कृपा। ओम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरि ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। कृष्ण भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। गीता माता की जय। हरि ओम। We are discussing our Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, and yesterday we saw the 18th sloka, which says Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gabi hastini suni chaiva swapake cha panditaha samadarshinaha. We were discussing yesterday on equal vision, and we have discussed a lot. Now he says other qualifications of such a person whose mind is steadily established in the absolute truth. What happens to him? Yehaiva tarjitah sargo yesam samye sthitam manah nirdosamihi samam brahma tasmad brahmanite sthitah. Even here in this world of birth and death, everything birth is overcome by these whose minds rest in equality. Such a person, even remaining in the world of this cycle of birth and death, he is not at all concerned with it. His mind is ever steady in the absolute truth, because the truth is known as equanimity, the absolute equilibrium state. So the mind of such a person also is like that, absolutely steady. So there is 100% equality in both, so they cannot remain different from each other. That is what we used to discuss every now and then. 200% equal objects cannot remain different, having difference. They will have to become one only. The Brahman is the state of absolute constancy. It never moves, nothing is there, no movement, no action, reaction, nothing, no any kind of dualistic ideas are found in the absolute constancy, that is Brahman. And the mind of a realized soul also is of same state. His mind never gets disturbed by any means, at any time or conditions. So he has to be one with the Absolute. He abides in the Absolute. Even here, in this world, birth is overcome by those whose minds rest in equality. Brahman is spotless indeed and equal, therefore they are established in Brahman. So simple to understand. When the mind gets rooted in equanimity or evenness or equality, when it is always in a balanced state, one conquers birth and death. We have seen the state of balance when the three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas, are in one state, that means in equal state, without any imbalanced state seen in it. That means they are one and the same. That is what is known as the state of the Absolute. The moment there is little movement, it starts changing, and the three qualities gets imbalanced, and then the primordial Prakriti, the nature, starts working through imbalancing state of the three qualities. Prakritehe kriyamanani gunehi karmani sarvasa. Gun, these three qualities, when they get disbalanced, then all the creation starts from there only. We also have discussed so clearly, when there is absolutely balanced state on the superficial water, you cannot say anything, whether there are waves or ripples or tides or whatever you name it, in smallest forms or in bigger and biggest forms. Nothing is seen there. So you cannot name it because there is no imbalanced state. The moment somehow or other little imbalanced state starts, that starts creating some names and forms, some imbalanced waves, whether it is smaller than the smallest or bigger than the biggest, doesn't matter. It is something imbalanced state, isn't it? So that imbalanced state is known as creation or nature, and balanced state is the absolute reality. And this imbalanced state is seen in the balanced state only. When something is balanced, then only it can be imbalanced. So imbalanced state is within the balanced state. It is not out of it. That's how the whole world exists in the absolute truth only. They have no different identities, only the difference is balanced state which has become imbalanced now. That is only the difference. Or else both are the same, one are the same. In this way, when this mind which is root cause of the world, or it is an imbalanced state, the thought waves, call it gross mind or intellect or anything, ego or subconscious mind, all these are only imbalanced states in different degrees. That's all. So it is called mind, and that is also otherwise known as world, the creation, the nature of the balanced state, nature of the balanced state. In this way, when the mind is steadied, that itself, that steadiness is known as the absolute existence, that is the truth. So he says, when the mind gets rooted in equanimity or balanced state or evenness or equality, when it is always in a balanced state, one conquers birth and death. Birth and death or the cycle of world is nothing but some imbalanced state, basically. Bondage is annihilated and freedom is attained by him, by a man of balanced mind. Bondage is due to imbalanced state. The mind gets attached to all these because its form is this, so it has to be concerned with all these wavery state, isn't it? Just as we are concerned with the body and actions of the body through the senses or mind or prana, let it be through any means. We are concerned and we get attached to it, and that is called bondage. Attachment means bondage. The super glue. Your paste, it joins two into one. That is called bondage. Two are bound to be one. That is called bondage. So when we are concerned with the action and reactions and mind's work, whatever it may be, and we get attached to all these, and then we are attached to the doership. We think we are the doers, and also we are bound to think We are the enjoyers. And what is the enjoyment? Either pain or pleasure. That is the result of bondage. This simple theory is described in different language, different ways, in all the scriptures, authoritative scriptures of all the religion. Somehow or other, how to act, what to do, all these injunctions they are found in the scriptures of the religions. May it be different from each other, but the essence is the same. When the mind is in a perfectly balanced state, he overcomes Brahman himself. He overcomes Brahman himself, that is, realizes Brahman. Overcomes means becomes one with it. Overcomes here means unites with it, becomes one with it. So he becomes the Brahman himself, that is called realization of the self. Brahman is ever pure and attributeless, and so he is not affected even though he dwells in the outcast dog, etc. So he is spotless, he is homogeneous and one, as he dwells equally in all beings. That we see or understand as the existence which is common in every being, and the satisfaction of existence and knowledge of existence. Because of his awareness of existence, he is quite satisfied and contented. That contentment is known as bliss, which is beyond happiness and unhappiness. Happiness is a dualistic term. If happiness is there, then there will be unhappiness also. That is the nature of the dualistic world. And absolute equality is beyond all these. So that state is called the kingdom of silence or equanimity or peace, or beyond everything, beyond happiness and unhappiness, beyond all these pairs of opposites. That's how one realizes Brahman, realizes self, or attains liberation, in whatever language or terms you can express it or understand it. No objection, but the state of that should be understood. Brahman is ever pure. We have seen what is purity. Purity means absolute singularity, which has got no expectation, any hope of the second in it, impurity in it, absolutely taintless, ever pure and attributeless. These attributes, that means the timingly different names of different states of the being. That is called attributes, either of the body, form, or the name. Let it be anything. All these are only attributes, which are always subject to change. So the purity means attributelessness. There is no change in it. And so he is not affected even though he dwells in the outcast dogs, etc. So he is spotless. He abides equally in all beings, not only in all beings, in every object, whether it is a living being or non-living, let it be anything. The presence cannot be absent in any condition. So that's how the truth is all-pervading and ever-existing. So that state only can be heard if your identity or your personality becomes steady by all means, in all sense. Mind, senses, prana, and different states of mind, they should not move. So they will lose their name, form, and whatever may be the attributes. There will not be found any attributes. So it goes beyond all these. Same thing, the same personality, same identity loses its identity in this way. But existence is never lost. So this is the state of a realized soul. Naturally he will behave, or he will understand all the objects, whether they are animals or human beings or any other beings or any other objects, forms or names. This is how the quality of equal vision. So in that state, if at all his body, his personality is seen to be moving, in what way he can move? Many times we have discussed this point. Just as the hands move instinctively when you are deep asleep, because of habits. And how the habits, nature of habit is, when it is natural, that instinct or that habit becomes natural. It becomes automatic. How everything has got a momentum. When you drive the car, you are driving in a speed, quite rapid speed, and all of a sudden, due to any reason, you put the brake, strong brake. The vehicle has to stop. And if you lose the brake, what happens then? Because of that momentum from before, even though the engine is locked, everything is there, but it is not working. But the momentum makes it work, moves it forward up to some distance. That momentum works. That is called habit or instinct or natural momentum, we can say. Just as we see in the evening time, the sun is gone already out of scene, but the twilight remains for some time, isn't it? The light is seen and slowly it fades away, disappears in the darkness. It is a slow process. Because of the light before, it remains for some time. That also is seen in dawn. Because of darkness, even though there will be light afterwards, slowly the light appears and the darkness disappears in a very, very slow process. In this way, everything in nature, fan also, you just off the switch and see it will go rotating for some time. Everywhere, in everything, and that also is seen in deep sleep. The senses do their respective habitual actions when there is need for it. But the person is unaware of it and he is not the doer. He cannot be claimed as the doer. He knows nothing. He is not aware of all these actions. The engine is not aware of the speed afterwards, after the brake, because it is completely stopped. This is how all these actions of a realized soul is seen after realization. His senses do function. It is unconcerned, unknown, unaware of, but yet the senses work for some time. And of such a person, these senses slowly stop functioning and the body also falls down by itself. That body will not be sustained even by nature. Because there is no purpose, there is no motive behind it, there is no doership, there is no enjoyership. So how it can be sustained? There is no need of it. So naturally the nature dissolves it. This state is called Videhamukti. After attaining that state, absolute equanimity, this body remains for some few days or hardly a month or so. Hardly. For some few days, maybe some 16 or 20, 21 days. After that, body will start decomposing and dying away. That is the natural process of the body and senses of a realized soul. For some time, instinctively, the body will work. Where the person is never concerned. And still more indications he is giving of such a person. Na prahrisyet priyam prapya, nodvijet prapya cha apriyam sthira buddhi asammudho brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. One who knows the Absolute perfectly well, then he becomes one with it. He becomes Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmeva bhavati. The knower of the Brahman becomes a Brahman. Just as the example they give, it is some very, very well-known example. If you will do research on it, you will see it. There is no propagation, natural propagation method for a black bee. There is no natural propagation process. Female and male, they have to get together to produce the third one. That is the natural process seen in the plant lives, in animals, birds, everywhere it is seen. But it is not so with the black bee. How it propagates the dynasty, how it is kept up. You see, the black bee holds some caterpillars from the flowers or from the leaves of the flowers, and it brings it into its hole. Black bees live in some holes and goes on stinging it. So the caterpillar, out of the fear of death, it has to see only the black bee continuously out of fear. So in a short time it loses its body and it turns its body into the body of a black bee. This is the process found by the great seers. They give always this example. So as you think, so you become. That is the formula. And at the time of death, whatever thought is dominating on the mind, accordingly the next life body will be decided. It gives a strong momentum. And what will you think in the end of your body? Whatever you have done throughout the life, that will come to the front. Whatever you have learned in the whole year, at the time of final exam, in the exam hall, you will remember that only. Try your best to cram something and boom it out. That will never happen. Very seldom it happens. That is automatic. It comes to the mind. So in that way, the future works or bodies are formed according to the essential thoughts of the previous body. And that comes at the time of death. So that becomes dominating. In this way, as you think, so you become. Everywhere it is applicable, and that is the case with the black bee. So why we are discussing it? This is the exactly case with a realized soul. He goes on thinking of the Brahman. So he becomes one with it. Brahma-bit, one who knows the Brahma, bit, one who knows the Brahma thoroughly well, by experiential knowledge, he becomes one with it. There cannot be two identities 100% equal to each other. They have to become one. Resting in Brahman with a steady intellect and undiluted intellect, the knower of Brahman neither rejoices on obtaining what is pleasant, nor he grieves on obtaining what is unpleasant for him. There is no pleasant or unpleasant for him. There is no desires or desired objects or undesired, rejected objects. There is nothing of this kind. He is beyond the dualistic state of the mind, because his mind is one-pointed, so he is always established in balanced state, so he never gets joy from the objects which are favorable for the body and senses and mind. He never enjoys it, nor he is unhappy when undesirable, unfavorable objects have come before him. Neither he enjoys nor he rejects. That will be the state of a realized soul. Na prahisyat priyam prapya nodvijat. He is never agitated by having some unwanted and unfavorable objects. Sthira buddhi. His mind is ever steady. Asammudha. He is not ignorant. He is well established in knowledge. Brahmavit, who knows the absolute truth. Brahmani sthita, he gets established in the truth. He is never bewildered. Sthira buddhi. This is otherwise also in the scriptures we find. They define the mental condition of such a person. How a stable-minded person, equal-minded person behaves, how he reacts to the situations. The essence of it, when there is some unwanted situation before such a person, if the mind is not agitated or not disturbed by the presence of cause for disturbance, vikara hetu sati, even though there are causes for disturbance, even though there are causes, reasonable causes for disturbance of the mind, whose mind is never disturbed, Vikara hetu sati na vikriyante, never gets disturbed. Yesam na chetansi, whose mind and intellect gets not disturbed. Vikara hetu sati vikriyante jesam na chetansi te eva dhira. Such people are called equal-minded person. There is enough cause for disturbance of the mind, but yet the mind is never disturbed. So such persons are called equal-minded persons. They are called dhiraha. For example, you are going in a dense forest all alone, you have made the track and you are searching for some path to get out of the terrific jungle, and all of a sudden you saw some tiger is coming and standing before you and with open jaws ready to swallow your sweet head for a nice breakfast. How will you behave? There are enough cause for fear and disturbance in the mind, but one whose mind is never disturbed, he stands without fear, without disturbed mind, without shouting and doing anything against the tiger. Such a mind is known as equal-minded person. Such a person is known as samadrishti, dhira purush.
छोटा सा समदृष्टि वो तो है, ठीक है, मगर वो अगर शेर उसको खा लिया तो उसके बाद वो समदृष्टि रहेगा?
It cannot. That is the state of that balanced mind. Nature cannot go against you because nature is under your control. Nature means imbalanced state. Your mind is steady means nature cannot do anything against your mind. Imbalanced state cannot disturb the balanced state of the ever-balanced state. Can the ripples or the big tides disturb the water? Can it? Can it do any harm to the water? It is in the water, of the water, from the water, for the water. In every respect it is water only. So how can it do any harm to the water? So nature is under your control. For such a person, the tiger will go and lick it with love. Ahimsa pratisthayam tasya samipe vairatyagaha. The enmity cannot be practiced against such a person who is established in non-violence. That is, his mind is ever steady. He cannot think otherwise of anything, against anything, except love and affection. So for such a person, the ferocious animals, the enemies, they cannot have their natural tendency acting before such a person. The influence, you see, the stronger will win over the weaker. That is also another very basic natural law. So your mental state, because it is balanced, it wins over the imbalanced state. You are standing steadily somewhere and a running child is coming. Can he do any disturbance to you? On the other hand, if you just touch him, he will fall down. Isn't it? That's how the imbalanced state is under the control of balanced state. This is the formula. That's how one who is established in love and non-violence, nothing can do against such a person. No nature can go against it. Nature is under his control. He becomes stronger than the strongest, bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest means stronger than the strongest. So how can such imbalanced nature act against him? This is how the nature acts. So sthira buddhi, he is called balanced-minded person. He has the mind with a balanced state, who is never disturbed by the imbalanced situations. There are strong cause for imbalanced state, but he never gets influenced by it. That is called establishment on the truth. For example, I always give the example of Sadasiva Brahman, and many others there. On Ramana Maharshi there are several examples. Ramana Maharshi's life, and many examples we can get from such realized souls. Though your hand is caught or the sword is on the neck, you are never disturbed. A small incident I will tell you now. There was some person in Haridwar, Sattva Sarovar, Haripur Kala. He was a monk. He had a small ashram. And he was very active, and he was always dominating over other Mahatmas and helping, of course. Always he had a helping mind. In order to help others, sometimes he had to go against others. So some people were having some enmity inwardly against him. And some people who were deadly against him, they gave some money to a killer. Go and kill such person, and he will be given still more money. बोलते हैं हिंदी में सुपारी दिए. This person went at midnight, when that monk was all alone at midnight, sleeping in his bed. This killer enters into his room with a pistol. He is all alone. So he gets up, somebody has come in, breaking the door, So he got up and sat calmly. Yes, my dear, how are you? How are you? Come sit here. How you have come? I will kill you. Never mind. I am all alone. You can kill at any time. I am not running away. Close the door. I am with you only. Why so hurry? It is a real fact. And why so hurry? Please sit. Take your seat. Can I prepare some halwa for you and little coffee? Enjoy it. I am not running away, really. I am speaking truly. Close the doors and windows tightly. I am not lying. You can kill me at any time. I am at your hands. Why hurry? Sit. Okay. He goes and prepares some tiffin, hot, and gives some hot coffee. Both are enjoying. I am taking my last sip. Don't worry, you may kill me any time you like. Why hurry? I am at your hand. So while eating and drinking, he started playing jokes with him. And he was not serious at all because his mind is full with balance. He knows, he is a great psychologist, how to talk to such killers. He says, my dear, you kill me, never mind. If you kill me, whatever money you have got, that is the end of your achievement. And if you don't kill me, just think over. I am giving you suggestions. If you don't kill me and somehow giving some causes, due to this, due to that, I could not kill him. I went to his house and tried. Next time I shall kill him. So if you pretend like that, you will get more and more money. As many times you will attempt to kill me, so much money you will get. Think over. It is your choice. I am at your hand. Now also you can kill me. You can kill me later also. So do you want more money or you are satisfied with this money, this amount of money? He was thinking seriously. This fellow is telling really, he is giving me the good suggestion. I have got the money already, whether I kill him or not. What is that to me? So he embraces him. Thank you, Swamiji. I am going. I shall come again. This is how the balanced state of the person. This is real fact. One should never be disturbed with imbalanced state before you. If you have patience, you can think over to get rid of the problem. If you are bewildered, your mind cannot decide anything. You are in the situation. This is how a man of correct thinking never gets disturbed. What happens if you are disturbed or afraid of the situation? Can you get rid of it? This is how they think and keep off balance. So this is the state of balanced mind persons. This is the state of a Jivanmukta or a liberated sage or a Brahmana who identifies himself with the self or Atman. He always has a balanced mind. He is never deluded. He has abandoned all actions as he rests in Brahman. He who has an unbalanced mind, who identifies himself with the body and mind, feels pleasure and pain, exhilaration of spirits when he gets a pleasant object, and grief when he obtains an unpleasant object. He is chained by the different situations, so he is subject to the surroundings. He cannot get over it. He cannot overcome the problems. A steady mind only can think over the problems and get rid of it. This is the condition of such a realized soul. Tomorrow we shall say, Bahya sparse svasaktatma bindatyatmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham achyam asnute. One whose mind is ever established in the Brahman and never perturbed by the contact of senses with the external objects of the senses. He, being established and ever united with the state of Brahman, he enjoys the eternal bliss continuously without any interruptions. Continuous, eternal bliss he enjoys forever and ever. We shall see this tomorrow. What are the qualities or indications of such a equal-minded person, so that we can know something about him and we can have the idealism of him in our lives? We shall try for it, because really that state of mind is beyond our praise and glorifications. Tomorrow we shall see. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om.